The John Lebang Show has been known to make people laugh, sing, think, scream, throw things in rage, and generally lose their minds. Listener discretion is advised. Greetings, Earthlings, and alert the media. The John Lebang Show is coming at you one more time. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, John Lebang. Thank you for joining me. We have a lot to discuss, so let's get right to it. Apparently, Donald Trump fires Rex Tillerson via Twitter on Tuesday. And, well, that's not the best way to fire somebody, if you ask me. He said it had been... This is Rex Tillerson, said it had been more than 3 hours between the announcement on Twitter and the Twitter Don talking to him, and instead of firing him face-to-face, he was on Air Force One. And, well, Rex Tillerson didn't have anything nice to say on his way out, of course. He was fired and replaced by CIA Director Mike Pompeo. And Tillerson's last act was to blame Russia for poisoning a former spy at a British pizza restaurant. Tillerson, a former boss of ExxonMobil, had just been on a trip to Africa where he was seen boarding his Air Force plane on Monday. Jean Haspel becomes the first ever woman to be director of the CIA after a clandestine career and involvement in black sites. Tillerson has disagreed with Trump on Iran and North Korea, but Tillerson had been also reported to have called the president an effing moron. So I guess that's why he probably fired him. But was this the right move by President Donald Trump? And is this the kind of leader that you want in office? Somebody who can't look you in the face, and the way he handles things is through the social media. Now, his followers would say that's fine, but as a boss, how are you going to work for this guy in the future? How is anybody going to be able to work for this guy? Would you want to work for a guy who handles things that way? You know, I've had my share of really bad bosses in my day, and I've had a couple really good bosses. And the ones that are the best ones are the ones that lead by example, and the ones who just don't fly off the handle for any stupid reason, and they don't fire you, they don't yell at you, you don't get in trouble just because something happened and they can't handle it. A lot of people have gone along with the Donald on just about everything that has happened during the last year and a half with his administration. Now we're seeing that this guy is not acting like a leader. If you're telling me you want to work for somebody, you want somebody leading the country that can't handle things face to face and has to do things through the social media, especially firing a guy, wouldn't you? I mean, if it was me, I mean, there's some professionalism that goes into being the president, isn't there? You have to have just some remnants of professionalism. I mean, it is the most important job on the planet, or at least the most important leader position on the planet. And if you're going to handle things via Twitter all the time, instead of dealing with things face to face, especially in these firings and get rid of people, then there's something wrong there. You see his approval rating ticking up, and I don't know how it's ticking up. Because, they're talking, you're losing seats on top of it. Things aren't adding up again. The FBI, Andrew McCabe, was fired this week as well, a little more than 24 hours before he could retire. Jeff Sessions announced the decision in a statement just before 10 p.m., noting that both the Justice Department Inspector General and the FBI office that handles discipline had found that Mr. McCabe had made an unauthorized disclosure to the news media and lacked candor. Yet the president is going to fire somebody via Twitter. You can't be hypocrites if you're going to run the government. This is the problem we had with Hillary Clinton. She would talk all fantastic in public, yet behind the scenes, she was manipulating things via the Clinton Foundation or other means. So how are we supposed to deal with an administration, and I'm speaking the people who voted for him, the people who voted for Hillary, they're not going to like him anyways. But the people who put their support behind this guy, how are those people supposed to just follow along after stuff like this? On one hand, you're too cowardly to fire somebody face to face, warn them in advance. No, you fire them via Twitter. Then you get angry because some guy goes to media outlets and talks about things that you don't like him talking about. So you fire him before he can retire and get that marvelous pension from the government. And I don't care if he loses his pension. I don't think you should get pensions being in the government. You're serving the people. You're not there to benefit from anything, and you shouldn't get any benefits yet. Whatever. Some people are going to get mad about this guy being fired and not getting the benefits. My only problem is the administration is being very hypocritical at this point. You can't go on social media and pull the stuff you pull, and then when somebody goes behind your back to media and reports stuff that you don't like, you fire them. See, the diehards, especially in the alternative media, the diehard Trump supporters that see nothing wrong with what he's doing are going to be saying that he is just draining the swamp by chopping this guy and this lady and this guy and moving this person in. Is he draining the swamp, or is he just putting people that are going to be yes men? See, this is what I'm seeing here with the Trump administration, is that he wants yes men. And if you're not a yes man, and if you don't give him exactly what he wants, I thought he was the great dealer. Make deals, make deals. But it looks like he doesn't want to make deals. He doesn't want to compromise. He wants what he wants. And if you can't perform for him, if you're not 100% behind him, if you oppose some of the things he does, you're out of there, you're gone. And I understand being a leader, a person in charge, that you want people that will do the work for you, that will get the job done. You don't use fear for everybody to do their job right. That's no way to run a company. That's no way to run a government. But what do we expect? What do we really expect from the political parties that exist today? They gave us Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, so people had to go Trump. People had to go Trump because that was the best the political parties had to offer us. And don't think it's going to get any better because we're hearing Oprah Winfrey coming out of the Democrat side. So they're not learning. They want to put whoever they put in charge there, they just throw somebody up there. As long as they do the Democrat thing or the Republican thing, they don't care. And are we seeing a drain in the swamp? Or are we just seeing Donald surround himself with yes men? Yes women. Because now we have a new CIA director that's a woman. First woman ever, so he's breaking barriers. But it's funny how the mainstream media are portraying this lady. Oh, she was part of black projects and she was involved in all those torturous activities. That's what the CIA is about, isn't it? You got to get information out any way you can. Maybe the CIA, something's wrong there. We know there's something wrong with the FBI. We know there's something wrong with the Justice Department. The TSA. More government. All these government agencies. And the more we look into them, the longer they exist, the more we find out that corruption is the rule. They'll surveil you, but they want to keep secrets away from you. They'll perform torture, but they'll throw you in jail if you do the same kind of thing to somebody. If you were to go and take a bunch of money out of somebody's check, that would be called theft, stealing, fraud, depending on what way you did it. Government can do it all day. Nothing wrong with that. As long as they provide some benefits for you, the ladies and gentlemen of the country ship, the citizenry, which no longer is made up of citizens. It's citizens and non-citizens, illegal and legal. We don't know which way we're going anymore. We don't care which way we're protecting. We got a guy in office that acted like he wanted to do a lot of good things for the country, and now we're seeing a year and some months later that it hasn't changed a whole lot. And their biggest accomplishment was a tax plan that only helped out corporations, and it barely even touched somebody's pocketbook. The individual. $3, that's what I got in my favor from the great tax plan. $3 in a 2-week period. How many billions of dollars have the companies saved? Sure. That's a fair tax plan. And that's the best. That's the best the Trump administration has to offer as of, 15 months in office, 14 months in office? That's the best. It's like the road situation here in Michigan. We'll get to that. Unbelievable. The corruption on every level of government, yet people think government will solve the problems. Be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Taking our first break. More on the flip side. Now, don't get your panties all worked up.
The John Lebang Show will be right back.
And you'll love it. CRRM, CarePoint Billing Services. Their billers and managers are all dedicated to working for you to increase your profits. For more information, call CRRM at 248-579-3805. CRRM, CarePoint Billing Services. Check out the new book from Derek Shelmerdine,
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
It tells the story of rock and roll from its roots right up until the mid-'70s punk.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Not just the music, but also the events that shaped the music.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
It includes the backgrounds to recording sessions, singles, album releases, births and deaths, epic concerts, and festivals.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Shelmerdine has made a painstaking effort to document pretty much every event that would prove significant in shaping popular music.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Purchase the book at www.rockandrollunraveled.com. Follow him at Twitter at RNR Unraveled. And look